What's up guys, Rick with RallySport Direct here. Today we're talking about whether you should save some money and buy some inexpensive parts or treat yourself and splurge. Let's dive into it. We're gonna jump into this with a highly debated topic, coilovers, right? So here on my right, you've got the Bilstein PSS 16, awesome coilovers all around, but your entry-level point is about $2,000 for what you see here. Doesn't even include a top hat. Here you've got the FactionFab F-Spec. If I remember correctly, you're right around 900 bucks. And on paper, you get a lot more with the FactionFab F-Spec. You have significantly more height adjustability, where you've got about 10 millimeters on this one max, where this one you can basically go almost to the ground, essentially. This one you have more adjustment overall throughout the entire coilover. So at over double the price, is the Bilstein worth it? Well, certainly a more premium coilover, and it's going to take the win as far as, you know, daily driving and all around manners, if you will. Now, that's not to say that this is an uncomfortable coilover or a slouch in any way, shape, or form. It's just a little bit different. So either one of these you picked, you could honestly flip a coin. You'd probably be pretty happy for about, I'd say 99% of us. But overall, couldn't go wrong with either one. Let's move on. So you made your decision on the coilovers, and now you decide that, well, I need a little bit more adjustment on the rear end of my car. Super common. So you start shopping around and you're coming across, you know, everything from like these Whiteline adjustable rear control arms to these beautiful SPL adjustable rear control arms. And you see the significant price difference in there. Both are going to adjust camber. Both are going to work just fine, but one of these costs double. So here on my right, we have the SPL, all aluminum. Beautiful, lightweight, strong, adjustable control arms. Then over here you have the Whiteline stamped steel control arms that utilize an eccentric bolt or an eccentric washer, much like a lot of OEM type adjustments are made. So what are some of the pros and cons here? Well, SPL, you're definitely getting way more adjustment, and not only in just the actual alignment. Obviously you have, you know, adjustability here, which is going to increase or decrease your camber. But then you have a lot of adjustability as far as dialing in the suspension and how you want it to behave. Now, if you're going extreme, right, whether, well, probably you're going extreme low, something like this may not give you enough adjustability unless you do want a lot of negative camber, where something like this will definitely give you the adjustability. So if you're either looking for, you know, the most performance, or you really want to dial in the suspension perfectly, lock it down, this is a pretty obvious choice. Plus, looking at that on the back of your car, like, gorgeous. These are perfectly acceptable solution for someone who's budget oriented. The bushing here is definitely going to be better than stock, so a nice upgrade there. And you still have a wide range of adjustability, just not quite as extreme as this. So if you're looking to save a couple bucks, you need that adjustment, these are going to work just fine. If you're, you know, maybe a track user, show car, or you just love these baller parts, it's hard to go wrong with something like this. Next product. Now let's talk about boost gauges, or gauges in general, right? Now this is another area where you could probably get away with some pretty cheap gauges. Now, here on my left, we've got the ProSport boost gauge, and then here on my right, we've got the Defi Advanced BF boost gauge. Now, the difference between them, you know, outside of just telling you how much boost your engine is running, can be pretty significant. Now, Defi is certainly a premium gauge, but to get into a Defi Advanced gauge like this, you don't only need the gauge, you also need the control unit and the switch. Now, why is the Defi so much more? You know, a ProSport gauge like this works just fine. It'll read boost. You know, how accurate do you actually need it to be? Defi is obviously going to be more accurate, but really what you're paying for is the quality inside. It utilizes an actual stepper motor. It has, you know, memory, peak hold functions, warnings you can set. Where the ProSport, if you're on a budget, it's a fantastic gauge. If you just need to know how much boost you're running, both work just fine. If you have a style preference, or maybe it's just a budget preference, both are gonna work perfectly adequately. I happen to like the Defi a little bit more. That's what I've run, but I've also run ProSports and never once had a single problem. So if you're looking to save a little bit of money, you can check out some of the lower end gauges, where if you wanna be big baller and spend, Defis are a fantastic option. Anyway, next product. Next up, brakes. This is another highly debated topic, and we've got the DBA 5000 series rotor here, and we've got the R1 rotor here. And I'm gonna apply this for brakes kind of across the board here. Now, when it comes to big money on brakes, generally speaking, you're gonna be, looking into a big brake kit, something like that. So that's why I kind of stuck with just rotors. Essentially, for the price of this one DBA 5000, you can buy a full set of rotors and pads from R1. Now, the DBA comes with a two-piece design. Comes with an aluminum hat, uses premium high carbon metal, all around a fantastic rotor. Over here, you have what I would consider to be, an OEM performance replacement. They've got the slots, you've got the drill. It's gonna be a direct fit, direct bolt on, but it's just your standard replacement rotor that's probably gonna perform a little bit better than stock. But at nearly, a quarter of the cost, I would say, it really comes down to what is worth it for you. The DBA here, definitely if you're shopping DBA 5000 series, you probably have something specific on your mind. Maybe you do visit the track often. Maybe you like the benefits of a two-piece rotor. Maybe you just like the look, or maybe you're just wanting the best of the best for a factory replacement rotor. Over here, you're gonna get something that's going to perform as good or better than stock, and it's gonna allow you to spend money elsewhere. All right, next up is exhaust systems. Now, this is one area where I would say you can definitely cheap out on if you want. You might deal with some, finicky fitment issues, something like that, but there's no real safety concern, right? So here on my right, we've got the Cobb full titanium exhaust. And I actually did a video on this a while back if you want more information on it. Then here on my left, we've got the Remark Catback. I would consider to be very budget friendly. You get a full 3-inch catback, big, nice looking tips, very similar to the Cobb titanium exhaust. It's gonna look great, it's gonna sound great, it's gonna perform great, and it fits incredibly well. Where this one, you're definitely paying for the exotic materials. One benefit of that is this thing is featherweight, and then boldness of the pie welds, just that raw titanium finish that you really can't get with a stainless exhaust system. Both are gonna perform about the same. Definitely are gonna both have their unique characteristics as far as looks and sound, but both are gonna fit like stock. And really it comes down to what you value. It's like a show car, a track car. Maybe you need something like this to, get ahead of the competition. But if you're just starting to get into modifying your car, I would say start out with a system like this. It's going to look great, sound great, fit great, and then kind of decide what you like and what you don't like about it. Because really, exhaust systems are one of those things where I'd say change it often. Get one that you really like, and you might have to try a few different ones before you do. So either way, weight versus money. Simple. Next product. And next up is Strut tower bars. This is the Megan Racing front strut tower bar, one of our cheaper options on the site. And this is the STI tuned front strut tower bar. Holding these in the hand, you can definitely feel the quality on this. Beautiful strut tower bar, but hard to justify for the price. If it's a show car, your JDM or OEM plus type build, this is the obvious choice, but it's $600. It's a tough price to swallow. Where this one I think is sub $100, maybe even sub $80. And you still get a very attractive front strut tower bar. It's gonna fit, it's gonna work. It looks pretty decent. If you don't like the chrome, you can always paint it. There you go. Anyway, front strut tower bars. Save money, or do you just go Louis Vuitton and splurge? It's up to you. Next product. And finally, the most debated topic, wheels. And I understand why, people take great pride in buying a genuine set of high-end wheels like these Gram lights here. Now, both are going to look fantastic on the car, and it just comes down to where you want the money to go on the car. Some people, love the idea of being able to buy several sets of different wheels that they can run depending on what they're feeling like. And some people will, save up and buy that one wheel well, one set of wheels that they've just been oogling over, even though they might be $4,000 for the set of wheels. So, you know, you really have to decide where you want to put your money and what's going to be best for you. And I think that goes for everything across the board. Not one decision is right and one's wrong. It just depends on what you value more. Anyway, with that said, we're going to end the video here. Of course, I'm going to throw links to these products down below so you guys can check them out. And I hope you guys like this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down, but at least drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And I'm genuinely curious to know, what are those areas that you guys are willing to, you know, skimp on, or what are you not willing to skimp on? I'm really curious to know. Or maybe some of those items where you're like, I know it costs 5 times as much, but I just had to have it, because I certainly have those, and I certainly have items that I'll buy the cheapest of the cheap. Anyway, let me know, guys. Thanks again for watching. You guys are awesome. We'll see you on the next one.